I'm joined by Alex and Mike and my colleague Niels, who looks after the pro video business for Adobe in the UK, which means he is up to date with the very, very, very latest features. So let's get a bit of an update from him as to what came out in the October release.
Thanks, Iona. Yeah, you're quite right. Creative Cloud moves on apace. These constant updates are like a juggernaut now. You know, they keep coming constantly. October was no exception. We announced a bunch of new features around IBC and focused on them for the Max releases. One of the main new features is the consolidate and transcode function. That really underpins our open format workflow. That now gives you the ability to have a greater degree of portability to your projects. You can actually consolidate and transcode down to an intermediate format, for example, GoPro or MXF, DNxHD. Equally, applying that to After Effects workflows, that means you can flatten down and render in place any of your After Effects comps if you need to actually send that work across to people of lesser performance systems.
And guys, is this something that's going to be useful in your workflows, this sort of feature?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've just recently done a project with lots of mixed formats, and although it worked in my head and the timelines kind of all made sense to me, there was a lot of nesting of different codecs when I had to do sort of warp stabilization with GoPro shots using sort of MXF files from an F5, ProRes footage from a Blackmagic Cinema camera. And there were occasions where I'd like to hand that over to another editor, not necessarily knowing whether their machine would be able to cope with that material. So having the option to take that entire timeline or project, say, and consolidate it and transcode it into a format that is, more suited to run on lesser powerful hardware or more likely to work across other machines is great. And the render and replace with After Effects is ideal for me. I do a lot of After Effects work and also embed it a lot within video projects that I do. And to be able to just right click and render and replace that when I know that I've got a locked picture on that motion graphics effect is great, because although the dynamic link does work really well, you're not going to get smooth playback. So if I want to do a client review of a full edit, I don't want to be waiting for it to be calling into After Effects to kind of play that clip. I know, right, they're happy with that graphic, I'll render it, and it will just play with the rest of the video clips fine. So it's great for me. And
of course you're still left with the flexibility of the fact that in transcoding and flattening down to 12-bit GoPro with alpha, it's resolution independent all the way from SD up to UHD. You've still actually got the flexibility of those layers of actually being able to have some granularity in the comps when you work with them.
So Niels, what's the next feature?
Well, we've actually improved a couple of the features that we introduced earlier this year in Premiere CC. So the mask tracking, for example, you've now got Bezier curves and you've got the ability to create much more sophisticated, ornate shapes. And in terms of the master clip effects, you've now got a greater deal of visual feedback in terms of what you're actually altering in the timeline, whether it's a master clip or an actual sequence clip.
And Alex, you actually showed the previous version of that feature in action earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, so the feature I showed in a little demonstration was 4-point polygon mask, but the ability to actually draw more points around a more complicated shape within Premiere is kind of a big plus, because there's a lot of things you could use that for, such as drawing a shape around someone to add a vignette or something. There's tons of stuff you could
Gives you loads more accuracy, and something you'd have had to do in After Effects.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would have had to previously gone out to After Effects, but now I can stay within the one application, so that's all good.
Great. And next up is...
So one thing we've done is kind of, we've gone back to the drawing board on a lot of the productivity sort of workflow-based features. I'm sure you guys agree you spend a lot of time versioning things for different durations or different strap lines or whatever else. So a while ago we introduced the capability of having multiple simultaneous media browsers. We also allow you to preview sequences within projects before you commit to importing them, particularly if they're quite long. And we've also introduced the concept of search bins, which allows you to kind of sift through a heavily populated bin with lots of clips in it and essentially save a set of links or shortcuts, if you like, to those clips and have them quickly retrievable.
And Alex, I imagine for you, particularly with the documentary project, something with lots of different rushes and media type that you're needing to kind of find these different types of clips really easily, that's going to help you, right?
Yeah, being able to create a new bin that's got all the clips with a certain key phrase in would be quite useful, actually. I can think of a number of uses for that.
Good to get your hands on.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
And how about in After Effects? Have you got a top new feature for us?
Well, similarly, in terms of workflow, we've got the copy with property links function, and we've approved that now to also include copy with relative property links. That, again, allows you to create an original master comp and then create some relatives of that where the changes ripple through. So I'm sure you'll probably make use of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really useful for me a lot of the time when I'm doing graphics. It's a case of creating a master of a particular graphics, whether it be a strap or a wipe, or it might be a particular statistic I'm displaying as a full frame graphic, but I'm reversioning it for various bits of different information. So it will speed up the process a lot more for me for just versioning things from a master composition. So I can imagine that being really useful. Yeah,
big time saving.
Great, Niels, thank you very much. And
Not at all.
I hope you guys enjoy those brand new features as well. We really want to hear from you, so take part in our Twitter competition by sending in a creative tweet to tell us about your top Creative Cloud features. Our Adobe panel of judges will select their favourite tweet from each Northern European country, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland and the UK. The winners will receive a 12-month membership to the Creative Cloud. But not only that, the overall tweet from all the regions will win a Microsoft Surface Pro 3. So get posting your tweets using the hashtag #CreateNow. The competition is open from midday on the 10th of November till midnight on the 13th of November. And you can see full details, terms and conditions at this URL. Good luck. Animal is the Adobe After Effects CC innovation project recently revealed at Adobe Max. Let's take a look.
I'm trained as a filmmaker, so I'm so happy to show you our next piece, which is codename Animal and is in the Pro Video segment. Now, Animal is a tool that we're playing with around character animation. So if you've ever done character animation before, you know that the process of timing your animations to video or audio can be very tedious, time-consuming, and it's certainly not expressive. It's not easy and it's not fun. So we've tried to do some of that stuff inside of Animal. I've got a PSD loaded up inside of Animal right now, and we'll start by using touch. I can interact with this guy just by reaching in and touching the screen. I'll grab his hand here and go, "Hi, everybody, how you doing?" So anyway, voice is not my forte. But I can wave and interact with him in that way, and I can record those animations as I'm doing it, which makes it a lot easier than having to go and keyframe this out.
But that was just touch. What about, audio and being able to capture gestures and things like that with the cameras on the screen?
Right, you've asked me. Let me show you that one. I'm going to pull up another character. This guy's Mr. Squiggles, I guess. And for Mr. Squiggles here, I'm going to turn on my camera. 1 second to do that one. There it goes. Now, right by turning on the camera, Animal has recognized my face. I've done no setup. Animal just knows what a face looks like, and he's going to follow me around, and he's fun, so that's cool. So just with the camera, I can now get in here and move around with it. It's fun.
That is really cool.
That is so cool.
So we saw touch, we saw camera.
What about speech?
Speech, we can do speech too. So I'm going to turn on the microphone. And now, not only are we grabbing my audio to get the size of the mouth, but we're actually analyzing my speech, and we're getting the vowels. I can do a ooh or an ee. And we're going to get that in there. So I can read my script, he'll speak alongside of it, and I can record this whole thing and use it for something else later.
I think that's really pretty cool. What do you think?
So Animal actually is available for beta today. If you go to adobe.com/go/animal, you can download this and get on the beta and start playing with that yourself.
You can find out more about Project Animal at this URL. That's all we've got time for, so thank you for watching, and a massive thank you to all of the video professionals who have taken time out to share their tips and advice with us. If you're interested in sharing the work that you've produced using the Creative Cloud and your tips as to how to get the best out of the applications, then do get in touch with me via Twitter @Creative Sneaks. Do take a look at the Digital Imaging Show and the Design, Web and Publishing Show. Details of those will follow shortly.